Well, some of the new uses we've seen just this year, a small company in Wisconsin began implanting RFID chips directly into employees who would volunteer. And they decided to try this to expedite the use of resources within the building and the company. For instance, opening doors, for instance, as opposed to giving out security badges, for giving people access to snacks in the cafeteria, and then just being able to simply charge them or deduct right from their payroll. And they wanted to experiment, and they believe this could be an opportunity. This one small company doing the microchipping of people, sell it to large corporations that have to track all kinds of resources and materials as a way to potentially cut down on loss and theft, or things that disappear. We've been seeing this for years done in animals. You can go to the veterinarian and get your dog or cat with a little rice grain sized tracker put into them. So if they get lost, you can find an app and then look for them. We've seen people do this not internally, but attach little RFID trackers to their keys or wallet or the back of their phone, so that if you lose them, you can go back and look and scan the area and find these devices. But we're just now seeing the beginnings of humans being integrated with these chips directly. Well, first, I think there's a sense of human dignity, right? We put microchips on items, we put tracking on animals, but you're a human and you're not a product, you're not owned by an employee. So I think there's a sense of human dignity here that you would not want to be. Although there could be a lot of conveniences offered, I don't think at this time there's any new thing that couldn't be done with existing badge or biometric, fingerprint swiping or iris scanning or face scanning that couldn't be done externally. Well, the chips themselves are passive, so they receive a little bit of electricity and reflect an encrypted ID, which basically every employee in your company would be given an ID number. That number would be encrypted, and it would be inserted on this little chip that the only time it's read is when a little bit of electricity through the air is applied to it, and then it reflects an answer to the system. Then the system just starts looking you up in the database. So there is actually no integration with the human body. It's quite simply just inserting it, a small electronic chip into your hand or arm or any place in your body that the body will not treat it as a infection or a virus. And so there is no actual integration between the electronics and the humans at the moment. What more relevant can they have? Well, the companies that are doing this, they sell it as a convenience factor. Once the chip is embedded in you, there is no, for instance, lost ID card. There is no lost debit card, for instance, if it's given to you from the company, right? It's inside your body, right? Nobody can steal it from you. Right? You could lose your ID card. Someone could steal it from your house or your wallet or when you're walking down the street. So some of the advantages are physical security. That's what's being touted here. But I believe the loss of dignity and the potential for misuse outweighs any gain in convenience and security. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that's already here, right? If you think about Facebook, Google, the amount of information collected, the amount of information they know not just from who you are and who you like, but say you put a picture of your family birthday party, they can scan and see that you're wearing Nike shoes, you're eating Doritos chips, and then they can go directly to the advertisers and say, look, this group of people wears this, they like this, all right? So Facebook and Google know already as much about you. Amazon, the large five, Apple, if you're part of the Apple network, they already know that information about you. So the fear of that information being collected and used, it's a little bit too late. That's already happened. And so this would be like, a couple raindrops onto a lake, right? The problem is already there. Yes, we're actually already seeing that with Apple working with large-scale healthcare companies to use Apple devices for monitoring heart rate, amount of steps you've walked, and integrating that with insurance companies. Currently, right now, the chips are all passive. So unless you run them past the scanner, the chips do not tell you anything. They don't have any computing power. They're quite literally just an ID number, right, that represents you. And then based on whatever scanner, if you scan in the cafeteria, it will deduct, payment from you because you bought a candy bar. If you swipe it past an entrance door to a secure room, it will look up in the database, are you allowed to go here? So in the future, though, we will see electronics probably powered by the body. If you think about nerves, neurons, which are just electrical signals, somebody someday, and they're probably working on this, will integrate machinery, chips with your body and use the motion, kinetic motion of your arm that's swinging, or the electrons in your body, the neurons, to power an active chip that can do some calculation, that can make a decision, that could connect to a cellular device and then alert somebody. So we will see that coming very soon, 5-10 years, we will start to see that happen. Okay.